Hello everybody, it's Jeff Kikel again, once again with T-Werx Entrepreneurial Essentials here in Cedar Park, Texas. Once again, we're back after the Small Business Festival. We've been out for a while and hadn't been putting up shows because we had all the Small Business Festival stuff. If you have not seen the Small Business Festival videos that we've put out there, please, right down below here, you need to make sure that you go in and subscribe to our channel. And then go on there and surf through. Look through all the different ones. They might be a little bit long, so you might need to watch it for a little bit or set aside about an hour. Each of them is about an hour, and all kinds of topics, everything from HR to finding, figuring out how to finance your business, social media marketing, everything. So I think you'll enjoy them. We had so much fun producing it. So I want to introduce you to my friend John Becker today. John is a local CPA who's a completely different type of CPA. John is probably the most proactive CPA I've ever met. He really sees himself more as your virtual CFO for your business and not just the guy that shows up on April 15th to do your taxes. So with that, John, can you tell us a little bit about your story? How'd you become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, we'd love to. Again, as Jeff said, my name is John Becker. I'm a CPA. I'm a native Austinite. Went to UT. And
you're one of the five.
And really started off my career in the venture capital world and private equity and all those good things. I was a corporate controller for a small fund, and then kind of evolved into the CFO for the last 3 or 4 years. But during that time span, I also took a very active role in our portfolio companies, and we were in a variety of industries, in real estate development, primarily in the media and entertainment industries, which would be theater, exhibition, to outdoor advertising, just to a real wide selection of industries. And then probably 25% of our investments were in industries we called special situations, which is a good deal that made money. And so really that really provides me with a great foundation and knowledge of a lot of different industries that I can really add value to the owners and the entrepreneurs. Because part of what I did anyway was to take a look at the operations and look at ways that we could perhaps improve efficiencies in overall operations, as well as doing tax planning for the principals. And so after roughly 20 years with this organization, the main principal got to be in his 80s. And it got to the point where he was really needing to spend more time in the boardroom and on the golf course than in the office. And so I really took that opportunity to kind of back out of the organization, and I hung out my own shingle, and I've really been doing so ever since. And so for the last 10, 15 years, I've been working with small businesses and individuals, entrepreneurs, and working with them from a tax standpoint, yes, but really also from a business standpoint, and really trying to help add value to their bottom line, help them understand the taxes. And it's not, yes, it's there, but it should not drive your business, but really be a part of it, and just you need to manage it well. And so that's my story, and that's what I'm doing.
That's great. I mean, I think that's the difference that I found as I met John. And it was funny because I met John only one time, and instantly something about him was different. And I immediately had a meeting with him almost right after that to really find out. And that was what intrigued me is he really truly, and I've referred him to several friends, he really truly does exactly what he says. He goes out, he spends time with that business owner and really sees himself as part of that business, which I think is drastically different from a lot of CPAs out there. So John, you've had the opportunity to work with a lot of smaller businesses and startups and along those lines. What are some of the challenges that you see that entrepreneurs tend to make mistakes early on?
They wait to contact me and contact the attorney. I can come back to that later. And then when I sit down, this is what I've done, and it's, oh crap. And it's just, and then you can go back, you can fix it, but it's worth the conversation before you make that jump. And then it's understand what your options are, what are the pros and cons, and then go back and make your decisions and do what you love, but go with knowledge. You know, it's just, you don't know what you don't know, and it can really come back and bite you.
Yeah. So, I mean, you would suggest almost from the very beginning as they form the business to start to establish a relationship with a CPA.
Right, exactly.
You know, but a proactive CPA that's going to be on the ball.
Right, exactly. And they have a clear vision of where you see yourself going, where you see yourself exiting. I mean, that sounds crazy, but it really is important. Do you see yourself operating it for just a few years? Or do you see it as a multi-year, lifelong deal that you want to pass on to your kids? Or are you going to bring new people in? Do you see new people coming in? Do you want to give ownership to potential employees? All those type of things are things you need to be thinking about. And a great way to do that is to sit down with a CPA like myself and let's talk about some of the issues. You don't have to decide right then, but then step back, go, think about it, kick it around, and then come back and see what you need to do to go to the next step.
Yeah, and I would see that as that's a multi-year discussion too. Right. That's not a, you know, with my financial practice, we do exit planning. I mean, ideally, we're working with somebody over a 3 to 5 year time period.
Right.
You know, so we're not just waiting for the act or the end action to happen. We're working with that person or that business owner to help them get to that end. And there's a lot of transition that has to happen in that phase. So what are some of the other challenges that you see? Maybe now I'm rolling along a couple of years into this, I'm not in the startup phase. What are some other issues that you tend to see?
They assume they know what the answer is, and they don't pick up the phone. And it's just like, oh, that small little thing, but that small little thing can really come back. I mean, it's the details, and it's being in constant communication because it's not picking up the phone and calling. So that's why I really try to make a concerted effort to check in what's going on. And then typically, you know, a transaction here, a transaction there, it can really make an impact on financial health of the business. And it can impact your taxes, it impact a lot of other things. You know, I said it before and I'll say it again, and often you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. And it's just to be in good communication with your professional service provider is key.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent. That's excellent. So what are some of the things you're working on now, John?
It's really working with a couple of small companies. And it's fun, and it's just trying to add value. The one company I'm working with in the Cedar Park area, she's a great person. She has some accounting background, but really she's not a controller. She's mainly HR as well as but I'm her, you know, she can pick up the phone anytime, call me, we can talk through the accounting issues. And that's great. That I can also work with the owner and give him good feedback on what's going on and really partnering with them. And that's the fun.
That's fun. That's what I always get out of John is that it's fun for him. It's you're not just sitting there because there's many of accountants that I talk to that just dread tax season, and I never hear that from you ever.
But it's not tax season. It is the year. It's your business. It's your life. It's what you're investing in. And taxes may be a unnecessary evil, or necessary evil, whatever you want to call it.
Depends on your personal belief there.
But it's part of it. And if you manage it well, you're better off. You won't be waking up in the middle of the night pulling your hair out going, what am I doing with this huge tax bill that I didn't expect? Mm-hmm. You know, if we do things right and we plan, we both know what that number is, and come April 15th, we're writing a small check. I know several of you may want to get that nice refund, but if you're getting a refund, you're giving the government free use of your money. You might as well keep all the money you can and pay a small amount when you file your tax return, and you win.
Yeah. Ideal game is it's an exact zero if you did it perfectly, but it's err to the side of, I may write $1,000 check or something. Right. That's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can plan for that, and you've gotten to use that money throughout the year.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that tells us a little bit about you. So now it's time for the Fast Five, John.
Okay.
All right. So this is the same thing we do every time, and the whole idea of this is understand a little bit about you quickly.
Okay.
All right, so here's the first question. You wake up tomorrow morning, your business is gone. You still have all the knowledge, you have $500 in your pocket, you have a laptop computer, and you have a place to live.
Right.
What would you do first?
I'd start building it again.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, and really emphasizing more probably on the networking than I did in the past.
Okay.
Because it's over the last few weeks, few months, not weeks, months, I've really come to realize the power of networking and networking with good networking groups.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it's not, in my industry, it's not immediate payback. It is over time, but it's building relationships and really valuing that, not so much as what I can get, but what I can give. Because if I'm giving my clients to others that can help them become better and improve overall.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And would you say too, I mean, it's also getting to know people.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
not just
Right.
going to that networking event, but it's doing the extra work of going out, doing one-on-ones with people, getting to know each other.
It's not the event, it's what happens after.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not getting out there and giving a bunch of business cards out and hoping people will call you. It's doing the work after. And like I said, meeting John was a big transition point in both my business and you know, having a CPA to really work with, where I felt that I could trust him and was that next level of a CPA. So, you know, I gush about him, but yeah, he is a different animal that I've come across. Okay, so now, what was your biggest entrepreneurial mistake you ever made?
You know, we live in a technological age, and it is really wonderful, right? And this thing is great. And especially that, you know, sometimes you get a text message and you make assumptions. There are two functions to this thing, and one is called the phone.
Yes.
And I didn't use it, and I assumed, and it was...
Yes. The old expression, yes, we'll just leave it at that.
So, lesson learned.
Lesson learned, make that phone call,
Well,
just
right.
real quick. Yeah.
Right.
So is there a book that you would recommend?
There are two.
Okay.
There's an old one, but a goodie is Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Nice.
It is really
Yeah.
good. And then another one that I've actually have on my bookshelf and I'm picking up that was highly recommended to me was The Hard Thing About Hard Things.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's really about, it's for startups and it's for
Okay.
entrepreneurs, and it's just, you know, you have this great idea and it's just wonderful, but then all of a sudden it doesn't work out and you've got to lay off people. Or what about you hire great people and things are just become, you know, hit, and all of a sudden they get a sense of entitlement and they make unreasonable demands. I mean, the whole key is that, you know, there's no recipes for things like this. And it's just, there are hard questions that us as entrepreneurs have to face. And how do you address those? And that's what this
Absolutely.
book kind of goes through and
I look
talks about
forward
with
to
a
that.
sense of humor and everything else. So
Yeah,
it's-
I look
so
forward
I
to
look
that.
forward to reading it. So it was
Yeah.
highly recommended.
Okay, fantastic. So, John, how would folks out there? Well, first off, what is a good resource, electronic resource, that you would recommend for small business owners?
Mile IQ. I mean, one thing that people
Enough
do
said. Yeah, right there.
is business mileage.
Yes.
And all those things, and it can be a hemorrhoid if you just get tired of you know, you need a log. You know, the tax regs, you've got to have a log of, you know, beginning, ending, where you went, all those good things. Mile IQ.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I live by Mile IQ because I am horrible at tracking mileage. If I have to do something, if my phone doesn't do it for me, it doesn't exist. I'm right there with you. I highly recommend it. That is the simplest way because it tracks you on GPS wherever you go. So every time you start and stop, it tags it and you can tell it was business or personal. So John, how would folks out there get a hold of you?
Well, you can call me, and my phone number is 512-913-4231. Or you can email me, and my email address is john@johnbeckercpa.com.
Excellent. Well, folks, John, thank you so much for coming out
Jeff,
today.
thank
We
you.
really appreciate you. As per usual, folks, down below, once again, subscribe to the channel. Also, right down below, over this way, is going to be our show notes page, both our show notes page here on YouTube, as well as if you're watching this on the T-Werx website, which is www.t-werx.com, twerx.com. Right down below there will be the entire listing of the show notes page. It'll also list the books that John recommended and link those to you to where you can get to them. And also we'll have a connection to John's website and his information in there so you can get a hold of him if you've got questions or if you're looking for a CPA. Once again, highly recommend it.
Thanks, Jeff.
So thanks, folks, and have a great day.